the Lensbaby Spark. Is it worth it? Stay tuned. Alright. Let's get into another product review. This is the Lensbaby Spark. Now, I've had this in my toolkit for probably about 5-6 years now. After that amount of time, I would say this has been an awesome tool for me. Now, granted, it's gone through its abuses and uses. The lens cap is already broken. It doesn't even clip on anymore, so fall off of that. But the main piece still works, and this is a plastic made lens by Lensbaby. It's called Lensbaby Spark, and it's a 50mm, a 5.6 aperture. It's got this kind of like bellows effect to it. Now, this lens is meant for like a fun effect, and it is very difficult to try and get a good sharp focus, but you really have to practice on utilizing this lens, and it took me a while to figure it out. But the images that came out of this are pretty fun and interesting. A lot of people are not a fan of it, but I am, and more so because the fact that I've discovered using this in videos, and it has given me a unique perspective on certain shots. I've used this on the football field and sports. It's really cool as far as the shots and the output that it came out with. Here's some examples of those sports shots. So let's get back into the lens. This is an EF mount, and I have also an adapter for the Sony that plugs into this, so I can shoot it with my Sony camera. When you want to focus, you either pump it back and you tilt shift this thing to get a focus. Now, you always have to be in the back of the camera to try and get this thing going. It's not your typical selfie type of lens, because you plug it in the camera, you will not get a sharp image. So when you find a sweet spot, distance, and a subject matter, this thing will be a really cool lens to use. And throughout the years, because I have used this, not only in pictures, but the videos have been really interesting. So let me first talk about some of the pictures I've used it for, and here are some samples. Now, I took a trip in San Francisco with my family, and this image right here was captured with the Lensbaby Spark. So I had my daughter face out, and so you notice the blurriness outside of this this image right here, and she's somewhat focused. Like I said before, this is not the sharpest lens, but it's a good gag fun type of lens, so that came out pretty cool to me. Now, here's another image. I saw this person just walking down these jagged rocks, and I was able to capture this person somewhat sharp, but you notice how cool this lens turned out. Pretty interesting, right? Same person, I was tracking him from a distance. Look at this effect right here. The person in the center frame is sharp, and then around it has this bokeh type of effect. So I was loving the fact that this image came out like this with this lens. Pretty cool stuff. Going through some more, following the same subject and just framing it differently. Person is still sharp, still cool bokeh effect. Okay, different person, and across the pond, I put the person in center frame, and I notice a lot of center framing from a distance comes out a little bit more interesting and a little bit sharper, where everything else becomes more bokeh and blurry. And probably the next one is probably my favorite shot. Yes. So this was in the beach of San Francisco. I noticed this gentleman fishing and wearing a blue jacket, and I instantaneously thought, gotta get this lens in that shot. So I did, and I framed him up and center framed him, and it just turned out really, really, really cool. So this lens has definitely opened my eyes to its capabilities. It's not just out of focus type of images. It's something that can be captured with real interesting results. Now let's get to the video. When I direct music videos, I use a lot of gags. I use crystals, I use flares, light flares, and stuff of that nature. I've added this to my effects. It actually streamlines my workflow, and the effect on the video, if it's used right, it's really cool. I'm going to show you an example of a video that I just shot recently with this lens and interchangeably with other lenses, but because this video goes well with this hip-hop rap song, it's really cool. But I'm not going to play the audio because it's not released yet. So we'll start off here before I even start the effect of the lens, and it's in the purple section that, okay, this video is not finished yet. It's still, there you go. That purple is where this lens really shines. You notice that effect of that pumping. It's a really cool effect, and in combination of movement, that gives it a whole different look and feel for the music video. So why I love this lens, it's because it gives me a whole nother option for effects and look for my videos. Bottom line, I paid less than $100 for this, and it's about 5-6 years old, and it's been worth it on my investment. And I believe the prices have gone up in certain sites, and but it hasn't deteriorated because it's plastic. It still holds up its pumping effect, and nothing has broke on this unit. But the only thing that broke is this lens cap. Not that important because you can clearly just clean out the center part of it with air and remove some of that dust. But for the most part, you can't even tell when you're using it on the video because the way I use it, I pump it so fast that you can't see if there's any dust or any specks like that. So check it out in Amazon. There's a link below. Feel free to click on that link through Amazon. If you decide to purchase it, please purchase it through that link. That would help me, and I would be making a small commission on my end just to help me grow on my YouTube channel. Don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe. I will see you on the next video. Peace.